Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. It's great to be with you again. I hope you've had a great weekend and a good start to December. I am carrying on the Color Along in Christmas Gnomes special Coloring Heaven, and this is issue 94. And I am doing the first page here, which has been illustrated by Maria Budek. I am using mixed media. So Inktense pencils and then colored pencils on top. So today we're going to do the lights, the shoes, the gloves, hopefully finish the whole page up. We'll see how we go. So just bear with me a few minutes while I finish getting set up. Right. Okay, so what I'm thinking, I've got purple, I have got blue here, but I need a little bit more festivity. So I'm probably going to kind of bring in a little bit of pinkish and white, not white, yellow lights. I think that will kind of go with it. So on the color wheel, you would have purple, blue, and red. They would be analogous. And then yellow is opposite of green and blue. I think orange is opposite blue, so it will be a bit of like contrasting color, so I think that would look quite nice. So for Inktense pencils, I'm going to get out as a base the lemon, and I'm going to use Pink Flamingo, and we will see what we can do. Hi Kenny, how are you? Okay, so where we've placed a bit of a white highlight, I'm going to create a bit of a glow. So I'm not going to use an awful lot of Inktense, but I am going to use some because I want to show that it's glowing. So I'm going to alternate between the pink and the yellow, and I think if you just keep it simple, it will look okay. So this is Pink Flamingo. I'm going to zoom you in so you can see better. All right, that should work. Okay, so obviously where it's darker, you're going to press a bit harder, and then will come out lighter. And then we want a little bit of a glow effect around it. Yes, all good, thank you. No complaints. I'm glad to hear that you are well. Now I am going to use a slightly darker red to go into these darker areas. And to do that, I think I'm going to possibly go in with a Chilli Red. So come in here. Pardon me, my notification bell is on. This morning I switched my phone notifications on because I had to contact the doctors, and because I asked them to phone me back, I had my phone on mute, and then when they did call back, I didn't answer them. So I decided I needed to put my phone on off silent and back onto sound. So I've just switched it off. So we want to glow around there, and then I mean we can use maybe a gel pen later and just go around these darker areas. Okay, so then if I use yellow, I'll come around here and do a bit of vibrancy, and then we want it to come up into create a bit of a glow. And then if we get a Cillian yellow, if I can find it. Ah, there it is. So for the Cillian yellow, no, let's try golden yellow for our darker shadows. And I don't really think these Christmas lights need to be, maybe go over them with other colors, because it's nice to have a slightly watercolor effect, I think. It gives it almost like a more glowy look, in my humble opinion. Okay, so then I go back to the golden yellow. Alright, and then if I activate this, I'll show you what it looks like. And we can always go over it a bit more and deepen up the shadows. So I like to go from the outside in and pull the color out. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry and I'll do a few more. So because I've got 2 yellows here, I'm going to do this one red. So again, I just alternate between Pink Flamingo and Chilli Red. I've seen on Instagram a couple crafts with watercolor paint, and people, or whoever does the video, they take watercolor paints or acrylic paints, and they use either a glass or a round dish, and then they paint the rim, turn it upside down onto the paper, and use that as the start of their bauble. And then very gently they bring in and deepen the edges. And some of them even use those very shiny watercolor paints for effects. It really is quite a cool concept. Hi Anna, how are you? Hope you've had a good start to your week. Okay, so now I'm going to alternate between lemon and golden yellow. Apologies for the background noise, it's just the family getting ready for bed. Hubby's putting the kids to bed. Unfortunately, our stairs are very creaky. I'm glad you're well, Diana. I'll bring you down a little. I think golden metallic or golden shiny watercolor paint or even acrylic paint makes a lovely effect on Christmas decorations. To give it a nice glow. Okay, so then, oh, I always get stuck because if I go red, but then I need yellow, yellow, red. Do you ever feel that way when you're doing patterns? It just gets a bit stuck. I was wondering, does anyone know of a good tutorial on how to color feathers? Because I've been trying my hand at feathers, but I'm, like a feather pen and that sort of thing, but I'm not 100% satisfied with how I've been coloring it, and I'd love to actually see someone else color a feather. Okay, I'm going to activate these. Oh, he is a cool, jolly gnome. I do like him. I have no idea what to do for the background, but I love his face. He's so happy and jolly. We can always use a white gel pen to add in white highlights. Ah, thanks, Kenny. I think keeping the lights to a limit actually works. I might go over them again, just deepen them up a bit. I love Inktense. I think they're such a deep and vibrant pencil, but I think sometimes we don't use them enough. Has anyone ever painted with acrylic paints in a coloring book? And if so, what tips could you give? I've got this one page I'm trying to paint with acrylic paints, and it's not going well. I've pretty much given up on it because I don't know how to fix it. Oh, Michelle, how are you? Amy Howard Art is great. I must go check her out for feathers. She's really great with animals as well, like fur and birds. Thanks for reminding me of her, actually. Right, I need a slightly dark color. Maybe some golden sun. Well, mango actually could work. Let's try a bit of mango here. So I'm going back here because this has dried already. And so I can just layer up my Inktense pencils and it should work. Yeah, we're all good, thank you. Oh wow, Kenny, that's cool. An orange background. I've done black acrylic backgrounds with a Posca pen. I think that was one of my first backgrounds. And then I decided a Posca pen wasn't necessarily the best way to do a black background. It kind of made it a bit streaky. Okay, let's see. Activate this. Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad you like it. I don't think this paper can handle a lot of layers though. It seems like if a person uses black Posca in the background, it's better for the background to be quite small because then you don't notice the streakiness. But anything bigger, and I agree with you, it just becomes really streaky. Oh, okay. I didn't know Color Me Stress Free watered down her acrylic paint and then used it. It makes sense though, because acrylic paint is water-based and watering it down would help it to spread. So that does make some sense. I need a Shiraz. Here we go. And here, just deepen these shadows. And then I'll go over that with Chilli Red. The one thing I'm not prepared to try yet with Inktense is skin or hair. I'm too chicken to try layer up skin tone with Inktense, and I'm not 100% sure how I would even do hair. I could do it as a base, and then go over it with pencil, but I'm not sure I have the courage yet to try and color skin and hair completely with Inktense or any water-based medium. I think, you know, some things come with time. Right, so I think that's not too bad. I think we can definitely work with this. So it's Pink Flamingo, Chilli Red, and then Shiraz. I hear you. Using watercolor as a base is still a great start. At least you're getting familiarity with, you're getting familiar with the pencils and your water-based mediums. And slowly you'll gain the confidence to try different things. But even as a base, I think, you know, using water-based mediums or alcohol markers, it really does intensify the color, and it also saves on your pencils because you're not having to do as many layers. Oh, thanks, Kenny. I've heard Albert is really great watercolor pencils. I've really honestly heard great things about them. And from what I understand, you can't compare them to the Inktense because they're quite a different product. I think what I've said to myself is that I will look at getting Albert, once I've seen myself really use my Inktense pencils more, because I think a lot of the principles are the same, but at least with the Albrecht you can use the pencils wet and dry. Now I know you can do that with Inktense, but I just find I don't like the Inktense pencils dry. I prefer them wet. They just, yeah, when you use the Inktense pencils dry, they just don't seem to really work the same as if you activate them. Yana, do you use quite a broad range of coloring supplies and mixed media? Exactly, Inktense dry are just pretty dull compared to activated. And yes, they aren't really watercolor pencils, because they are, when they turn, when they're activated, they turn into ink. And as far as I understand, watercolor pencils, when you activate them, you can still apply water and you can lift the color a bit. I stand to correction on that. That's just so far my basic understanding of watercolor. Oh, fabulous, Yana. That's a lovely goal, to try and balance them with other mediums, your colored pencils. Oh, wow. That's great. Allowed watercolor pencils are a third of the Albrecht. It's always a bonus when you can find something very similar and slightly cheaper while you're testing and working out your style of coloring, or just experimenting. Oh, okay, color. The only watercolor pencils I've tried were the Castle Art watercolor pencils, and let me tell you, I did not enjoy that experience. I just found the pigment just, it wasn't very bright and vibrant, and the pencils didn't seem to really go down onto the paper very well. Thanks for confirming, Yana. I really appreciate it. It's always good to know if one's understanding is on par or a bit misled. Oh, okay. I didn't realize Arteza had watercolor pencils. Or maybe I did. They just, because they've got quite a broad range of pencils, I get muddled up between all the different types. Right, let's put a little bit of yellow here onto his beard. Exactly, Inktense don't reactivate once they're dry. I think that's where, when you use Inktense pencils, there isn't a level of confidence you need to have with them, because once they've placed down and you've activated, that's it. There's no going back, and fixing it is a lot harder. Whereas at least with watercolor, it's a bit more forgiving. You can still lift the pigment up to a certain extent. And I find when I activate the Inktense, I need to work relatively quickly if I make a mistake, to make sure I can blend it out a bit more. Hi Connie, how are you? Oh Michelle, that was a lovely picture you sent me with your boat. I really liked it, and the colors were really good. I was very impressed with how vibrant they were. It's good to know that those were watercolor pencils. Okay, here I want a bit more. Let's deepen this up. Glad to hear you well, Connie. Okay, so hi Suzanne, thanks for chipping in. It's great to hear from you. But with Inktense you can work from dark to light. You can lighten when dry, put on a new layer of pencil like with oils or acrylic. I think I understand what you're saying. It's good to know. Oh, thank you so much. Glad you like the page and think it's cute. Okay, let's see. If we do yellow, red, yellow, and alternate that way, it should work. Just put a spot of yellow around here. So Susan, do you do quite a lot of work with acrylic and oil paint? So I'm thinking of doing the cuffs of his mittens white and then doing them a very dark blue, almost like a navy blue. And I think for that I'll use Inktense as a base and then deepen up everything with pencil. Which shouldn't take too long. So I'll just finish these yellow lights and then I'll do the rest of the lights off camera because I've shown you how I'm doing the lights. Then for the baubles, I was thinking of doing a mixture of these colors onto the baubles to kind of create almost like they're glass. So either it's going to work or it's going to flop. Lacquery Art, who made the covers with motifs on the Inktense boxes for Durant, has a channel where she back then really shows possibilities with Inktense. Highly recommend. Oh, that's really great to know. Thank you. I have seen some of Lacquery Art's YouTube videos. I don't remember if I saw any of her Inktense ones, so I'll definitely go have a look at those. Thank you. Oh, I hear you, Michelle. It can be worrisome to think that multiple layers will destroy the paper. From what I've seen watching artists who use water-based mediums, the key to not destroying the paper is to let it fully dry and then go over again with a new layer. It's when it stays wet and you keep trying to build up the layers wet that the paper can get damaged. Oh, sorry. That's my husband. He's got sinus problems at the moment. He struggles in winter with sinus issues. Yes, absolutely. Patience is needed when using watercolor and, well, anything really. It also depends on how much patience we have as colorists, because sometimes we don't want to take forever. We want a really quick result, and other times we don't mind. So I think it's just, you know, being flexible. But if you really do want the depth of the color and you're prepared to layer it, then you let it dry, build, and then go over it. So this is still a bit damp, so I'm going to leave these, but these ones here at the top, they're already dry, so I could technically go over these and build up the layers and it would be fine. But given that they're light and they're glowing, I don't necessarily want to have too many layers, because my main focus is really on him, not so much on the lights. Oh, I tell you, Kenny, winter is not kind sometimes. Although he does take antihistamine, and I think that does help. Okay, so now I'm going to go for a deep blue. So I think I'm going to get a navy blue and a deep indigo. I want that. Yeah. Okay, so navy blue, and then if I can find it, deep indigo. Ah, here it is. And then I think I'm going to bring in a dark cerulean. So the dark cerulean will be my highlight, or my lighter area. Now, I'm not fond of winter much either, to be honest. All right, navy blue here. I don't mind winter until after Christmas, and then it kind of gets a bit hard. But then I'm glad for spring, because spring just cheers me up. I get to look at all the beautiful flowers, and I know that it's not going to be long, and the days are going to get longer and warmer. All right. So I'm just trying to use my lights, my midtones, and my darks wherever the grayscale is. And then the deep indigo, I'll go in where it's really dark. So here I'm just trying to take things I've seen people like Peter Hewitt use, because I don't want to have this picture take too long. I'm not going to put the pigment down onto a board and then paint the page, because if I really wanted to do it properly, that would be I suppose you could say, the proper way of painting, but I'm too impatient to do that. So not today. Do you know what I've just done? I've colored his cuff navy blue. Oh well, never mind. He will just have really dark mittens, blue mittens with a blue cuff, and he will look handsome. Oh dear. Oh, Susan, I completely understand. And I think you do learn a lot through osmosis. Oh, wow. Okay, so when you do use Inktense for skin, you start by blending a base on the palette and then you paint the base on. That makes sense. Yeah, somehow painting it from the pencil straight onto the paper, it just sounds very risky. So your way of doing it actually makes sense. Right, I think we're going to need some purple. This is feeling very blue heavy. We need some purple in here. I think we'll do some of these baubles with tints of purple in them. So back to my indigo. Okay, and now I'm going to activate this and hopefully I think I might do pencils over it to get that really dark blue. So I want it almost like a navy blue. But I don't mind these colors as an undertone. got blue gloves. Oh my gosh. Maybe I should have given him white gloves. Oh well. He just really likes blue. So he's happy when he is decked in Christmas lights and wearing blue clothes. Hi Brittany, how are you? I'm blue, double D, double D. Yes. I wonder if his girlfriend is also blue. Right. So for these baubles, I think I'm going to do them in pencil. And I'm probably just going to go with Prismacolors because they have quite a gentle range and I'm a bit more familiar with them. So let's use some lilac. Some cloud blue. Maybe a non-photo blue and some lilac. We might need a bit darker somewhere here, so maybe a gray. Okay, let's see if this is gonna work. All right, so 70% cool gray. It's got a band or stripe there, so we might do that stripe red. So let's see. Let's see how we go. I think I'll make these gold. Michelle has summer. Yes. To have summer again. Okay, let's bring in some lavender. and some cloud blue. So this is the non-photo blue, and then the lavender, and some canary yellow along here. I didn't realize Australia had a lot of wind in November, Michelle. Is it quite strong, the wind? Let me just lift this up a bit for you. Okay, then my white pencil. Parma Violet. Oh wow, so it's windy and quite strong, sure. It's amazing how the weather is so different in different parts of the world. So Brittany, do you have a rain at the moment? Hi Carly, how are you? I want a little bit of Deco yellow, not yellow, Deco pink. I'm glad you're well, Cully. Okay, so for a gold, I want Jasmine, Artichoke, Light Umber, Dark Umber, and White. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like it. I'm all right, thank you. No complaints. Okay, and then I sometimes use black in my gold. It just deepens it up just a little bit, just to find some of the areas. Okay. Oh, thank you. I saw coloring with Elena. She did stars and ornaments with this sort of idea. Hers just looks more reflective. But then again, I suppose she's had far more practice. So I'm just drawing inspiration and experimenting. And then here is a colored pencil, colorless blender. But I really, even if it looks more purple than reflective, I don't really mind, because I need to tie in these colors and make the page a bit more cohesive. Oh gosh, Connie, have you been having more load shedding? 4 hours per day, that's really rough. Goodness gracious. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing to this bauble. And I think that way it will balance it quite nicely. And then I'll try and fix these gloves. Oh my goodness. Oh wow, so your power is off because of replacing telephone poles. How long will that take? Oh, lovely, Suzanne. You're waiting for a white Christmas. Oh, I hope you get a white Christmas. I must imagine how spectacular a white Christmas is. Is it common for Norway to get a white Christmas? Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like the bauble. Oh, wow, until 4 p.m. I hope they don't take too long, Carly. And that by 4 p.m. it's all sorted. So here I blend it out with white, but then I'll use the blending pencil to just really blend it more. Oh, that's amazing. Norway usually has snow during the winter months. Oh, that's really awesome. Right, so if I do some highlight here, so this needs to have some yellow, but I also need a little bit of red. Sort of reflect the other bits of light. I'm trying to show that the light is kind of going through the bauble a bit. So if I do that one red and that one yellow, at least that's the idea. Oh, thank you so much, Kenny. It's just really pure experimenting at this stage, but I'm glad it's working out. So because I don't know what to do with the background, I need to make sure I keep a bit of a dark line around the baubles just to keep them defined. Then if I pick up some of this here, and a white gel pen. Hi Emily, how are you? They do look nice and glossy. I do like them. Alright, so then back to the gold, and it's pretty much the same thing. What is it that you mine, Connie? It sounds absolutely amazing. You must get glorious sunsets. So then it's just jasmine, artichoke, light umber, white, dark umber, or even a sepia. So you just want a dark brown. And then if you really want to accent your gold shadows, then you use a black. Oh, okay, I see, Connie. You're doing business with the surrounding mines, not actual mining. Okay. That sounds cool, though. Now, we could always give purple straps. Ribbons. There you go. That's the word I was looking for, ribbons. Right, so almost done. I forgot to activate his thumbs. I actually think I want a little bit more of this yellow in here, just to pick it up a bit more. Oh, Cully, what page are you coloring? Alright, so his shoes I'm going to color a black. So we'll use some grays and some whites. So black pencil up here. Now obviously if you don't want to have a flat black, you can use purples and browns. And that will help keep your black from looking flat. So if I use a dark umber along here, and then if I go over that with a dark purple, so a violet, and even an indigo, it will can layer them and then go over it with black, and it will keep it from looking flat. White pencil for some of these highlighted areas, just to soften it up. Oh, are you still busy with Tenderful Enchantments? Oh, sorry, I didn't realize the page was out of the frame. How's the moving going, Michelle? I'm glad I'm back in frame. Oh, Michelle, you're sick of mushrooms. Have you been coloring mushrooms? All right, 90, oh, is it, no, 70% cool gray. Oh no, dwarves and mushrooms. I think I've seen that Kirby page. Oh, well done for tackling it. It's a very detailed page. Alright, colorless blender. Are you almost finished with it, or have you still got quite a ways to go? Oh wow, so you still got quite a lot to do. Clean up the old house and move all the stuff. Oh, well, I am definitely thinking of you. Alright, let's put some brown underneath him so he's grounded. I mean, if nothing else, we can at least just put him on solid floor. And you could use a little bit of light umber. You could probably use a graphite tint. I've used them before for a background. They're not too bad. Oh yeah, your colouring corner is almost set up. Connie, are colouring books difficult to find in South Africa? Okay, so we've got him at least standing on solid ground. And then my 70% cool grey. Bye, Carly. Thanks for stopping by. Absolutely, don't kill your phone. Have a great week. And we'll see you soon. Dark Indigo. And violets. You can use this similar color combination for black hair. You just use more lighter blues and lighter grays in your highlights. It is hard to get nice books in SA. Oh really? Still stuck on the same patterns from 2016? Oh, that's a bummer. Yeah, shipping is expensive from Amazon. So how do you source your coloring books then? I remember in South Africa, my first colouring book was Jana Basford's Secret Garden, and I also bought Millie Marotta's Animal Kingdom. But I think if I'd only been limited to those style of books, I don't know if I would have gotten to enjoy colouring the way I do now. Bye, Michelle. Take care. Have a good week and good luck with the move. Oh, okay, Connie. That's great that Colouring Heaven came back. Thanks, Michelle. It's a pleasure to stream. Thanks for joining. Okay, so white pencil. Okay, so most of your colouring books are Colouring Heaven. At least with Colouring Heaven, you're also getting a variety of artists. I do like that about them. And I'm glad you can find some nice colouring books in the cities. It would be nice for the shipping to kind of not be so expensive, or the postal service to be a little bit more reliable. Okay, so he's got his shoes done, and I will finish the lights off camera. Let me see if I can darken his gloves up a bit. Alright, I'm going to use black and dark indigo and try and darken this up. I'm so bummed I did the wrong gloves. Oh well. Oh really? Your post office is closed for 2 years now. It's non-existent. Oh my goodness. Oh. Wow, okay, so Take a Lot goes really fast if they get good books. Gosh, I feel it's hard, eh? So hard. Oh gosh, I can imagine the prices for pencils would be high. And I suppose even the range of pencils would be quite limited too. There was an art store I used to go to in Johannesburg, because we stayed in Johannesburg before we moved, and there I could find the Derwent pencils. I just, for the life of me, can't remember the name of the art store. But it was quite a big one. And I remember seeing the Derwent Inktense and some of the other Derwent products. Okay, so Derwent is easy to find, and Colleen's. I haven't tried the Colleen's. Oh, okay, so the Colleen's are the same as Prismas. That's good to know. So here I'm just alternating between Prismas and, well, between Dark Indigo and Black. So I want some black in here. Oh, really? So they're brighter than the prisms. Oh, that's very interesting. Are they light fast, the Colleens? Do they have a good light fast rating? Okay, so now all that's really left is the ribbons, which I think we could probably do green, but I think for that we could probably use Inktense. So we could do, I think last time I was struggling to find Iron Green. We've got Ionian Green. So if we do a field green, okay. We'll do a field green and an Ionian green. Let's see how that goes. Oh, you have no idea. That, don't worry. Don't worry. Okay, so this is Ionian Green, and then here is the field green. So I want to give it quite a vibrant green ribbon. And I will include all these pencils, as always, in the description below. Oh, okay, well that's good to know. And even after 7 years, the color hasn't faded. Okay, so then we activate it with water. Oh, thanks, Kenny. Yeah, it's deepened up a little bit more. Never mind. At least we've turned it into a slightly darker shade of blue. I do love the vividness and the richness of Inktense pencils. Their colors are just beautiful. Okay, so I think that's it. So it's just finishing up the light bulbs down here, but then I think he's done. And I honestly don't know what to do for a background. I'm really stuck on that. I'll zoom out so you can see. There you go. So he's all happy as a clam, decked in beautiful lights. So the only thing else I will do is use like a white gel pen over here in these areas of all the lights, and just give them back their accents. And then what I'm thinking of doing is grabbing a gold gel pen or a yellow gel pen and a red gel pen and just going around these black lines here. But that would be the bulk of the embellishments. And then the page would be done. So yeah, I think that is him done. I will finish him off camera and I will upload the finished page onto the video. But I think that's really the gist of it. So thank you everyone for joining me, and I hope you've enjoyed playing around with Inktense pencils and just having some Christmas fun. Really appreciate it, and I hope that you all have a really good week, and I will see you next week. We'll do another Christmas page, maybe in the other Christmas cutesy special coloring book. I'm aware there's a couple of people who've just acquired it, so I'll have a look through there and see what else we can do. Alright everyone, take care and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.